Hey everybody, welcome to episode 1 of NOIR Central Station. This is a video series that I'll be doing once a week where I'll be talking about a film noir, which is one of my favorite topics of film. Some people call it a genre, other people call it a style. Down the road, I'll give my opinion on that and talk about that in a future video. But today, I'm going to start with a B picture from 1947, Monogram Pictures, which was really well known to doing a lot of B films, a lot of noirs, westerns, anything to fill out the second half of a double bill for films. So they were big on making it quick and cheap. Okay, so I saw this for the first time on Noir Alley on TCM, hosted by Eddie Moeller. Big fan of his, read all of his stuff. He is definitely a main inspiration as an adult for me in regards to being involved with film noir and watching film noir and studying film noir. Saw this a couple years ago, and his Film Noir Foundation teamed up with like UCLA and the BFI and restored this film and put it out on Flicker Alley Blu-ray with a film that we'll be talking about next week. In this set right here, The Guilty. So yes, I saw this and I loved it from the start. So really quick, I'm not gonna, because this series is mainly gonna be about trying to get you guys into seeing these films. And the good thing about this one, it's not the restored print, but you could actually see this film on YouTube. I will leave the link down below. A bunch of different random people have it uploaded. So the basic premise is two guys sharing an apartment start dating twins. And when the nice one is murdered, her boyfriend is accused of the crime. So this film stars Don Castle. And I've heard Eddie say that some people refer to him as like Monogram's answer to Clark Gable, like a poor man's Clark Gable. And you could definitely see that. He's not too charismatic. He's very kind of bland, but I like him. I like him as an actor. He definitely fits the B-movie style, and I'm a huge fan of his. So, starting out this film, from the first second that it starts on the street, on the cheap back lot. Well, the back lot itself isn't cheap, but you could tell they're just using one area of the back lot, including some interiors, the same ones over and over and over. It looks dingy and nasty and gritty, and it fits just right. The cinematographer, I got all my notes right here. The cinematographer does what he can, and it is very nice what he does with the amount of money they have. The cinematographer is Henry Sharp. There's some great light and shadows. I actually think it's a pretty well shot movie. And in fact, the title card of this series is one of the characters in the shadows holding a gun. So the cinematography is phenomenal. So you have Don Castle playing one of the roommates sometime in the future, going back to this bar on this street, and he's narrating it. And he's talking about how something happened, a while back. And so the movie is told in flashback of what happened and one of the girls getting murdered. And then, so the girls are twins, played by the same actress, and they do some really cool special effects with that. She is in the same shot. The actress is Benita Granville. She is well known at the time for being, when she was younger, she was in the Nancy Drew films and eventually Lassie. So the producer, Jack Rather, was an oil man. Very bored with the oil industry, wanted to get into films. Called up his old war buddy, Don Castle, and said, hey, do you want to make a movie? Long story short, they wired Cornell Woolrich and offered to buy this story. And next thing you know, they're making the film. They made it for $120,000 and obviously it was distributed by Monogram Pictures. So, and it was on this film that Jack Rather fell in love and married Benita Granville, and went on to produce like Lassie together. And they were like a good power couple. So you have Don Castle, you have Benita Granville, and then rounding out the cast is Regis Toomey, who is a phenomenal character actor. He always shows up in these B-noirs. He plays the detective that's trying to investigate what is going on. And he always just comes into the room and he has like a look on his face like he knows what everybody's doing. He knows everybody's motive, and he's just waiting for them to make a mistake so he could just get them. And I've seen him in countless films. He was definitely a phenomenal character actor, and he's one of those that you just never know if you trust him or not. So, like I said, Jack Rather was the producer. John Reinhardt was the director, and he directed this film and the one after this film that I'll talk about, High Tide, with Don Castle and Regis Toomey. Let me double check. Regis Toomey in that one too? Darn. Is he in that one? Is he in that one? Well, we'll talk about that later. This is really going to bug me if I don't. I think he's in both of them. Sorry, it's going to bug me now. Yep, he's in that one too. So, there's actually 3 Monogram Pictures that I'm going to talk about before I start any other movies in this series, and Regis Toomey is in all of them, and 2 of them are written by Cornell Woolrich. So, the story about... I found the information about Jack Rather in New York Times archives, and I had to sign up for a free account, or for an account, decided not to, but I found the article where it talks about Jack Rather wanting to kind of leave the oil business behind and get into film production. So when I watched this, I immediately was like, oh my gosh, this movie was incredible. And I wanted to watch it again. And so the next day I actually rewatched it. And then I bought the Flickr Alley Blu-ray set that has High Tide on it as well. And I've just been a big pusher of this film ever since. With all that said, this movie was filmed in 8 days. It is rough around the edges, but I think that just adds to the flavor of it. I think they did very cheap movies, but because of the writing and the cinematography and good filmmakers behind the camera, they were able to make something really special. And I think this is a very special movie. So I highly recommend it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first video in Noir Central Station. Thank you guys. See you in the next video.